Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Jeff, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogel? Here. Commissioner Butler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
We have quorum. I will note we're being live streamed right now. It's being sent out to our YouTube channel for public consumption. We're also being recorded internally for our purposes and compiling the minutes. And to that end, if any individual here has business before the board today, we ask that they approach the bench and speak into that microphone there so that we pick it up. Row officer reports and comments. Looking out in the audience today, the only row officer representative I see is Acting Controller Prestifine. Dave, do you have anything for us above and beyond what's already on the agenda?
I do not.
Great. Public comments. Any member of the public wishing to make comment? Great. Fiscal and contractual. We have no repository properties up today. We have no advertising for bids or proposals. We do have receipt of bids or proposals for the county's data infrastructure upgrade project. These bids will be opened and tabled until at minimum November 30th. But to that end, I'll ask the acting controller to come up, open up those bids, see what we're working with. For context, this project involves rewiring the entire county complex, the old government building, as well as the APO building. I know our IT director, Bill Bornero, has been instrumental in putting this all together, and we thank you for your efforts, Bill, in doing. I know it was a lot of work to get to this point. We have a lot of work to go, and you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, I've received 3 bids. The first one is from Rudela Mechanical Incorporated in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Base bid is $301,000. Next one is from Horizon Information Services in Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Base bid $291,300. Final one, I'm not sure who it's from yet. It is from D'Agostino Electronic Services in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the base bid is $327,000.
All right. Like I said, I expect this to be a hell of a lot worse than that. So I'm very happy with those results. Any questions or comments from my colleagues before I take a motion to table? Refer to the appropriate administrative officials. I'll take that motion.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bids are tabled and referred to whoever the hell we refer to. Thank you. I assume both of you are here for that project?
I am.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay.
So congrats. I'm glad the bids were favorable for you.
Thank you for coming.
All right, guys. Hey, Jeff.
I didn't
How you
even see
doing,
when I
man?
sat down.
I'm getting
How you?
For technical time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was letting you do.
All right, up next, we have 2 warrant registers, one from November 10, one from November 12. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over. I'll take a motion to accept and file.
I did have an opportunity to review them, so I will make that motion.
Second. The motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Again, I'll take a motion, or I'll let my colleagues minutes check those over and then take a motion to approve the minutes and make any necessary changes.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no presentation of written communications today. Staff reports. Is there any member of staff here who has anything to report about? We don't want to throw it on the agenda. You're seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments. Looks like I'm on deck first today. Yesterday, I was invited and had the pleasure to attend a meeting of the Butler County Growth Collaborative, which took place in their courthouse, and which occurs monthly. The organizations involved in that collaborative are their county planning / economic development department. They actually do that in-house, both of those items. Their countywide development corporation, which effectively serves as their project manager. It's a nonprofit. Butler County Community College was there. I finally had the opportunity to meet Nick Newpower, which was a pleasure. We're actually going to go grab lunch here in a month. Butler County Chamber of Commerce, the Butler County Redevelopment Authority and Housing Authority, which were represented by the same executive director, which I thought was interesting. Their tourist promotion agency, the counterpart to Janet Filatico was over there with them. And then not present, but part of that initiative was their transit authority. It was actually very interesting to watch the level of collaboration with those agencies. They were interacting very well, very positively, and they're actually pushing projects forward. In fact, right now in Butler, specifically, they're running roughly 50 projects, ranging from brownfield remediation to site preparation to infrastructure improvement. The EPA was there. They were talking about some improvements that they were looking to make to downtown Butler. I mean, it was just very, very fascinating to watch. And there was a focus on solving real problems, and they've actually generated some very real solutions from the workings of that group. And I'll just give you a couple examples. So in 2018, 19, and 20, that group was awarded 6 RACP grants for $5.75 million. In 2020, they were awarded $25 million in federal build grant money for improvements to the 228 corridor. They're currently developing at least 4 business parks through their CDC. They had over 30 participants in leadership. Butler County, by comparison, Lawrence County had about 6. And I thought this was interesting because this is something that we've talked about. When COVID hit, one of the things that they did was they actually brought an organization in to have seminars on how to optimize takeout for their different restaurants, how to transition their restaurants to more of a takeout setting. And so I just thought that was an interesting example of that group getting together, identifying a problem, and working to come up with a solution. By comparison, our economic development systems in Lawrence County, unfortunately, continue to lag behind, and at least until this point are largely uncoordinated. We're really not running projects. We rarely apply for large-scale economic development funding, and it's starting to show, and it has shown for a long time. Our core communities continue to decline. The city of Newcastle, the borough of New Wilmington. Elwood's doing all right, but it's not really a result of any county organization. They've got some really good, really talented people down there pushing forward their own projects. We're continuing to lose population, and we're largely stuck in a status quo position. By comparison, again, you look around the different communities. Sharon's coming back. They've experienced a renaissance in their downtown and are seeing significant levels of reinvestment. Beaver is booming with nearly every storefront filled. I was just down there the other day. We were visiting CCBC, and I drove through the town of Beaver. Every storefront filled. They've got restaurants. They've got people walking out on the sidewalks. It's a dynamic area. Places like Franklin and Meadville are also doubling down on economic development. I had the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go up to Meadville, where their college and their town are actually actively collaborating on economic development activities, which was fascinating to see. It's just very clear that our systems aren't working to the degree that they should. In fact, of the 3 large-scale county projects currently being run in Lawrence County, 2 of those 3 are either being directly run out of or originated in the office of the commissioners. Speaking to municipal representatives, which I did last week, who represent about 45% of the county's population, none have any faith in the current path of county economic development. To that end, it's time to rethink how we structured economic development systems in Lawrence County. I've recently reached out to a number of regional economic development institutions, from Pittsburgh's Urban Redevelopment Authority to the SPC. I'm working on getting meetings set up with the Progress Fund in Westmoreland County, as well as a number of other regional organizations, to try and figure out exactly why other regions are just doing so much better than we are when it comes to promoting their local economies. Internally, I met with LCAP yesterday, and I'm meeting today with redevelopment, transit, tourism, and housing, just to see if they're open to a little bit higher level of collaboration. I'm looking forward to talking to those individuals. But it's time that we really reassess the effectiveness of those organizations. Change is hard. Change is tough. It requires decisions that might make people unhappy or uncomfortable. But if we're going to rebuild Lawrence County, at this point, it's very clear that change is necessary. I just want to add those comments. I was very, very enthused to see Butler's level of collaboration. There's no reason we can't do it here. Those are my comments today. Dan, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no comments this morning.
Loretta, you're on deck.
Neither do I. We're within our 15 minutes, let's roll.
We're rolling. New business. First on deck, we have Public Safety, Director Parrish. Resolution for discussion, possible approval, and enter an agreement with Mid-American Energy Services LLC for retail electricity agreement. Jeff, how you doing today?
Morning, I'm fine, how's everybody?
What we got going on?
This is just a resolution to enter an agreement, like I said, with Mid-American Energy Services, our contractor, we had a 12-month, we did it last year. Eric Ryan does all the figurations and computations and everything else, and they do it for us every year, keeping track of everything, and I know they do it for the county also. Mid-American was the one that came in the cheapest, even a month ago, and we were waiting because the prices change every day. As you know, we were looking at, of course, we're gonna have an increase, but this was their recommendation, which was sent to Joe and also to Jason for their review on it to make sure it was okay. We had to wait till yesterday in order to get it because, like I said, the prices changed. So it fluctuated a little bit, but we're looking at least like everything else, like a 25% increase. But that's the nature of the business right now. We wait any longer, it's going to keep going up. So this would be a 36-month. And again, Mid-American is also what the county utilizes here too for the building. So our recommendation is we could do the resolution and get it signed back to them as soon as possible to get set up, and it'll take effect starting first of the year.
Questions, comments?
So we go through Eric Ryan for that. They handle that. We have a contracted service with them. I thought we were going to get away from that.
We were still under contract.
With them? Okay, all right. And how do we know who they get bids from? They do the legwork
They do
for
the
us.
legwork, yes, and they sent the spreadsheet out there was only, I think, 3 or 4 energy suppliers that responded to them. I mean, short of going back to Penn Power, if we go back to Penn Power, there's going to be a lot bigger increase there by default if we don't select somebody. But it's going to be a huge increase if we don't select somebody.
Just clarification.
We'd actually got more results last year than whenever we
Okay.
did it before. But now there was only 3 or 4 that submitted bids to that.
Well, with as many pictures as I've seen with Richard, with Reggie Kilowatt over the last week, don't tell him we're moving away from Penn Power.
Penn Power still gets their cut, you know?
Oh, I know.
Always, yeah.
Vanessa, what's the number?
306.
306, thank you. On that, then I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2021-306.
So moved.
Second, the motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank you. Just back up the bill. Thank you.
Up next, resolution 2021-306. I really don't foresee an issue with this one, or 307.
Right.
I really don't foresee an issue with this one. This is appointing Cindy Moore Vito of Elwood City as an alternate delegate to the Lawrence County Planning Commission with a term to expire December 31, 2025. Cindy's a phenomenal individual, community leader down in Elwood. She worked for Senator Vogel's office for a number of years, did an exceptional job in that position. She has frequently attended Lawrence County Planning Commission meetings in the past. What this does is, in instances where a quorum is not able to be present of the Planning Commission, Cindy would be able to step in at that point to allow that commission to make quorum and take action on whatever voting items might be for it that day. Questions, comments on this? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to approve resolution 2021-307.
So moved.
Second, the motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-308. This is a service agreement with Avanco International, located at 12685 Wiltonshire Drive, Clifton, Virginia, to perform certain services as it relates to children and youth subject to regulations established by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. What do we have?
Well, I'm Mike Griff with a new contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to meet you.
Yeah. I got
I wondered what the hell. I didn't know if you were with the company or what was going on.
Sometimes I want.
If you know, I must have known you were coming in today because I was thinking to myself, I have to call John and see what other contracts are being reviewed because we got a nice review from the first couple that you had already done into the position, so.
Right, this is just a breakdown. And we use this caps in our agency, but 56 counties in Pennsylvania currently use over 10,000 users. I broke down the contract year from 7/1 of 21 to 22, what the provider agreement was, the upgrade cost, the CWIP, and the total cost. It's a little less than what it was last year. And then there's a $10,000 consultant cost that's never been used, but it's in there in case we need it. If we want seminars, training, maybe some development that we want, and specifically to Lawrence County, we could use that. So I'm here to have the resolution signed.
This is, like you said, we've used this in the past.
Yeah,
This is pretty much a mundane, this is just continuity of operations effectively. Questions, comments from my colleagues? We'll take a motion to approve resolution 2021-308.
So moved.
Second, the motion is second. Any further discussion during none, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike, for
Thanks.
coming. That's a good.
oh, you're welcome.
Good to put a face to a name.
Yeah.
Up next, this is actually a really positive thing. We'll make this 309. When I was doing budget projections for the 2021 budget, I anticipated COVID having a higher hit on our tourism than it actually ended up having. And so to that end, I purposely deflated the projected revenues from the hotel tax, which then flow through the tourism promotion agency. What this does is it reflects more tourism dollars coming into the county. It makes a budget adjustment to our budget to allow the county to pay out additional hotel tax revenues to the TPA. And again, this is effectively a sign that our tourism economy is rebounding at a much higher rate than originally anticipated. So to me, that's an exciting and very good thing. So any questions, comments? Take a minute.
I'll note that Commissioner Spielvogel serves on the tourism board, which of course that organization is run by Janet Filatico. And this is certainly a positive indicator, as Mr. Boyd said, of it's a reflection of the county's local economy, that it's bouncing back. If people are coming here and staying in our hotels more frequently, I think that's a positive sign. So I'm happy to support this resolution.
All right, and then we'll take a motion to approve 2021-309.
So moved.
Second, we have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, 310. This is effectively, we received some additional grant funding through 911. All this is doing is making an amendment to our budget to account for that increase in grant funding, allow it to be both received and spent. Questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll take a motion to approve 2021-310.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This will be resolution 2021-311. What this does is this is transferring, I believe, from our contingency to IT maintenance and repair. The IT project is effectively being completed in two phases. First phase being architectural design, second phase being what the bids we just opened up today. This amount, which is $625, helps cover the cost of some of the architectural fees that we incurred during the design phase of the IT project. So all we're doing here is moving $625 from our contingency to IT maintenance repairs to fund some of those architectural renderings. Questions, comments?
No.
I'll take a motion to approve 2021-311.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-312. This is tidying up some of the departments out of our central services miscellaneous administration. One is prothonotary land and building rent. There were some more expenses there. Jody wasn't able to get down to the mines to the extent that she thought she was going to be able to this year. And so to that end, there's some additional costs that we weren't anticipating coming out of prothonotary land building rent, which is all related to the mines. Second thing, there was some turnover in the controller's office, and we went from an individual on single insurance to an individual on employee child insurance in the treasurer's office, which is an additional $12,000 in cost. So on that end, unless there are any questions or comments, I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2021-312.
So moved.
Second. A motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have a number of admin transfers. First up, court transcripts, 10,000 court-appointed attorneys. This is being used to fund some additional court-appointed attorneys bills. There was large utilization out of that account due to the high level, quite frankly, of murder trials that we had this year and the need to appoint certain attorneys to make certain arguments on behalf of certain individuals. Up next, this is Cartwright. Yes, this is Cartwright. From his contingency, $200 to electric. Electric costs went up a little bit this year, more so than last year, and so we're just moving to adjust for that. He's also moving $45 from equipment lease to maintenance and repairs to cover some miscellaneous maintenance and repair expenses out of that office. Here we have public safety transferring $2,976 from contingency to materials and supplies, to fund their contingency to materials and supplies to fund miscellaneous materials and supply costs through the end of the year. Domestic relations, transferring $860 from their contingency to genetic testing. I don't think there was an error in the budget. I just think that they were genetically testing more individuals to determine who the father is. Prothonotary, this is from, I don't know what 508 is. I'm racking my head right now. But they're moving.
Travel and training.
Okay, travel and training. There weren't as many expenses naturally that occurred in travel and training, so Jody's moving some money in to cover part-time, some additional part-time assistance through the end of the year. CYS, again, it's one of those agencies where you don't know exactly what the need's going to be, and so there should be anticipated to be some transfers throughout the year. They're moving $70,000 from CYS contingency to promising practices, as well as $1,450 from their contingency. Again, the electric was just a little bit higher this year than we had anticipated. Questions, comments on any of this? All right, I'll take a motion to approve admin transfers A through H.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. We have motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No ordinances on the table for introduction or final action. Number of announcements today. Number one, next week my colleagues will be it's in Hershey, right?
Yes.
In Hershey, attending the CCAP conference, which should be I'm looking forward to hearing about that. I'm hanging back a little bit. I gotta get the damn budget done. But I'm looking forward to hearing about it. But both of my colleagues serve on that board, which I think is a testament to Lawrence County and the level of leadership that we have there. Loretta as the Secretary Treasurer, and Dan as District 2 representative. So thank you guys both for your service. Next commissioners meeting, keeping that in mind, will be on Tuesday, November 30th, at this time in this room. There will be a prison board meeting in this room tomorrow at noon. There are 4 vacancies on the redevelopment authority as of December 31, 2021. This is the second announcement for that. 2 vacancies on the Industrial Development Authority for December 31, 2021. This is the second announcement for that. 3 vacancies on the Housing Authority on December 31, 2021. Second announcement for that. And we have a special election board meeting tomorrow. I want to say it's at 9.
Yes.
And the only thing we're going to be doing there is certifying, to the extent that we can, the results of the 2021 municipal election. The only results which will not be certified will be that as it relates to the Commonwealth court race. Those will be certified at a later date after that recount has been completed, that state mandated recount has been completed. Commissioner, anything on that?
Debbie, I assume you're aware that the Commonwealth has ordered a recount on the Commonwealth court, so all 67 counties we'll be initiating that process actually starting tomorrow. Tim
Is there-
can,
I'm sorry,
Tim can give you a lot of the background on it.
is there not gonna be an address of the election board complaint tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
When is that going to happen?
I don't know yet. It's not tomorrow. Public comments. Seeing none. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Debbie, I have my packet for you, as soon as I get it in order. And